Hi, welcome to the latest webinar in our Secrets of Success series. My name is Rob Noonan. I am a Rialto Markets co-founder and your host today. As you probably know, Rialto Markets is a FINRA member broker-dealer operating an alternative trading system for private securities and secondary trading, including those issued as a digital asset security. Our primary business supports private companies issuing securities through Reg CF, Reg A+, and Reg D exemptions. Rialto Markets is a fintech pioneer, having developed our own alternative trading system for private securities and secondary trading. We've just launched an enterprise solutions product using our technology and infrastructure to deliver a customized white label operation for our clients, offering our InvestNow technology and API infrastructure hosted on their own website. This can be further personalized to add ease of use and flexibility, allowing private companies to control their customer and investor data and build their own investment and secondary trading communities within a secure and regulated environment using the power of our alternative trading system, or ATS for short. Rialto Markets is registered in all 50 states, including those requiring a broker-dealer to issue Reg A+ securities. We're delighted to be joined by Tanen Andrews, CEO and co-founder of the Consumer Cooperative Group. Consumer Cooperative Group, or CCG for short, provides its members with the benefits of real estate ownership through an indirect ownership system. Through this unique approach for investing, they aim to offer an affordable option for all levels of investor, while simultaneously creating more opportunities for lower income individuals who may have been shut out of the market before. CCG's Cooponomics methodology is designed to create sustainable and equitable growth for all shareholders, preserving affordability in communities across America. Consumer Cooperative Group is also currently raising $5 million through a Reg CF exemption. But before I let Tanen take the floor, let me stress members of the audience are welcome to get involved by placing your questions in the chat, so feel free to do that as often as you like. We'll either feed them in as we go or add them to the full Q&A at the end. We might also follow up with you afterwards if we don't get to your question. Lastly, the webinar will be available in full on our YouTube channel in the next few days. So I'd like to now turn it over to Tanen. I'll start by asking about how CCG began, what it offers, and its profile so far. So over to you, Tanen.
All right, thanks, Rob. Appreciate it. Good afternoon, everyone. I want to break down how we came about and whatnot. Consumer Cooperative Group right now is in its infant stages. Consumer Cooperative Group was realized in the mid-late 1990s. Officially, Consumer Cooperative Group was formed, and it began in 2017. That's about 7 months after the Jobs Act of 2016 was enacted, authorizing crowdfunding and Regulation A.
Great. Could you give us a little bit more insight into how the structure of CCG really brings a sense of community and active participation to involve investors in the equity crowdfunding process? It sounds like a really great way to engage your people.
Yeah, we believe that the underserved communities have never had access to the real estate space, and thus have never really had access to the benefits of the potential of creating generational wealth through real estate, either through investing directly or through a fund, a REIT, or a real estate syndication. So we focus on the problems that created the wealth gap within our community, such as investment thresholds being too high, predatory practices, lack of access to capital markets, no equity ownership, and the lack of quality financial education towards the various investment practices and solutions that level the financial playing fields for all communities. So our structure is executed through our methodology of Cooponomics. Cooponomics is cooperative plus economics, and this method focuses on the financial literacy aspect of our niche market. that we believe will create a financial network of like-minded members of our community so we can financially pool their capital resources together in exchange for equity stock in proportion. I'm sorry. Resources together to exchange for equity stock in order to acquire cash flowing real estate assets indirectly and utilize that equity stock in proportion of each individual holdings as a means of building a financial foundation of in equity instead of the traditional debt model. The system creates a dependency on third-party intermediaries to handle our financial literacy and legal matters, and this is the fork in the road where we have been transferring and delegating our financial power.
Yeah, opportunity is something I get so excited about at Rialto, and giving everybody an opportunity to invest in really anything, whether it's real estate or anything else. It's really my favorite part of my job. Transparency is a key to crowdfunding campaign, and it's important for everyone to feel informed and involved. I know you do a lot of educational work. How does CCG ensure investors have access to, whether it's project information, financials, any progress updates throughout the process?
Before we acquire any type of real estate assets, investors will be notified and provided access via our website to view any potential acquisitions and have an opportunity to go over the financials and review any updates regarding the cooperative and any other type of transactions. Investors do not have a say in what assets we acquire or have the ability to suggest what type of acquisitions they think would be viable in their personal opinion. But all investors have because all investors really, they have a sole responsibility to set up their investor account that we give them access to with the cooperative, and then they have to take the responsibility to log into their investor account and review the information and any updates.
And correct me if I'm wrong, the more people get involved, the more they get.
Exactly, in proportion. Yeah. So if the share, it's all about the share. So we try to make it easy. We teach people about the EPS, which is the earnings per share. They really don't understand that. So we have to let them know, and the calculations makes it a lot easier for them to calculate what any potential type of dividend may be by just get the earnings per share and then time the amount of shares that they have, and then they can calculate the dividend proportion potentially if those become activated.
Yeah, that's really cool to me, because not only are you giving people an opportunity to get involved, you're incentivizing them to learn, and the more they learn, the more they get involved. It's a nice cyclical thing. I think the audience is going to be curious about your selection process for real estate projects. Can you walk us through the criteria you use to identify projects that align not only with financial returns, but social and/or environmental impact objectives?
Yeah, it's a multi-step process. So what we do is we consult with real estate broker professionals, right? I mean, there shouldn't be any other way. I mean, you have to utilize the professionals, strategically use other professionals in that field. Now, we use professionals to help search and provide multifamily and commercial projects that we can acquire. Our priority are turnkey real estate assets, right? We decide to partner with brokers because they provide a comprehensive report about the real estate assets that our investors for review. We look at multifamily apartments. We look at the multifamily apartments, right? We look at them as businesses. And I know you're asking why, right? Because they're already producing cash flow, and other financials are readily available, and they provide past, current, and future cash flow information. This is instant value to our investors' equity stock.
Great, thanks. Education, I know is something near and dear to your heart, and it's invaluable, especially when it comes to making informed decisions. Talk about what kind of resources and educational materials CCG provide to help investors navigate equity crowdfunding or gain a better understanding of real estate investing in general.
Yeah, as you know, right? And I always let everyone know it's in the name of the company. We are a cooperative, right? So we have a membership base. The educational component is only available to members of the cooperative who are paying membership dues. Okay, so now some of our members are investors, and this is where the benefit of being an investor and a member plays into, right? Investors are not members, right? But they have an option to be a member to receive the in-depth financial education that is provided by the cooperative. Now, for new investors, we provide some foundational financial literacy on our website and social media channels in order to assist in making a sound investment decision. One of the first lessons we teach is accountability and the ability to do the calculations for themselves to decide if the investment is a good one or not one. Okay, so I learned this early myself from my mentor. You offer what you believe is an opportunity. You never try to sell or convince someone of your vision, and then you provide all the necessary numbers and keep the responsibility on the receiving party to research the formulas and the calculations and decide based on their current numbers and their situation. All right, because if someone does not know the basic formulas such as the NOI, which is the net operating income, or the ROI, which is the return on the investment, they probably do not need to be investing. That's just real, right? This is what we teach in order to break down the current social constructs that contribute to the continued wealth gap within our communities.
Yeah, I know it's very important to you that people, whether they be investors or just learning, that they do their homework and they really understand what they're getting themselves into. I'm gonna move over to the chat. There's a couple of questions. Can you explain the consumer cooperative group's approach? How the consumer cooperatives approach brings a sense of community and active participation. I think we've talked about this a little bit, and involves investors in the equity crowdfunding.
Yeah, I'll go real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can go. Yeah, just to add a little bit to that. When new investors get involved, they have an opportunity to join as a cooperative member, of course.
Yeah.
We will reach out and provide a 7-day free access so they can participate in our weekly schedule and decide if they want to be involved on a social level. Okay, so with the community through social level through the community through financial literacy. Now, investing is not always. Remember, I want everyone to really focus on this. Investing is not always money. Okay, so let's not try not to just focus on the money. Let's just focus on other ways that you can invest other than money. But community, providing for the community, is always the greatest asset. Okay, so we have to study. We have 2 study groups a week, Monday and Wednesdays, and we have a master class or workshop every Saturday. There are over 70 videos with included PowerPoints that give hands-on instructions on various practical financial literacy not taught anywhere else. Community is built on sweat equity. This is where we put in the work in order to solve the wealth gap problem.
Right. I see in the chat some people are having problems hearing. I checked with Steve Tanen and he can hear us, and obviously I can hear you. So I just want to take this as an opportunity to say that this will be replayed on the YouTube channel. So if you can hear me,
Okay.
we can hear Tanen, and you can rewatch this. I apologize for your issue there. Tanen, forgive me, I don't know the terminology, but David is asking, is this a TIC, TIC? Does that?
What is that? What does that mean? TIC?
I'm not sure. David, if you can put it in the chat, we can come back to it. Rakesh is asking, and some of this is difficult to answer in this forum just because of compliance. How much cash have your investors placed with you, and how many investors number count do you have? Maybe we shouldn't be getting into that, but how many properties? I think if you talk about the properties you've purchased and some details on the type of properties and transaction metrics, which you've gone into a little bit, but maybe go into a little bit more.
Well, real quick, just so everyone knows, no, this cooperative was created in 2017, like we talked about earlier. No, we have not acquired any assets yet, because this was created just specifically for this is a new company for this. So if I'm looking at the cost aspect of it, like accounting and whatnot. We want to focus, like we'll talk about later, we want to focus on the administration portion of everything, because we already know what real estate is. Everybody has a sense of what real estate is. That is what we call the finish line. We know that, right? We know that if we acquire real estate, if you acquire real estate, you know the benefits of that. But what we want to discuss and what we want to focus on, we want to focus on the work to get there. How do we get there without having to go through red tape, going to third parties, having to go through all these unnecessary changes, also managing it, doing all of that? What is the process that you have to go through to get to the finish line? We have to race the race first, right? So our objective, like I said, you have to go and read our offering memorandum, because it breaks it down. That we're not acquiring real estate right now. We're getting the company ready and prepped so we can try to get to the markets and then acquire the property when we have the company ready. So first things first, we have to do step 1, step 2, step 3. We can't go to step 10. We got to go follow the first nine steps to get to the 10th step, and then we talk about the acquisitions that we make.
Right. Daniel is asking, and this is something I wanted to touch upon, because I know you've done so much work on your own, which is rare. You've really educated yourself, which is impressive. But what advice or tips would you give to private companies regarding the compliance challenges they may face when kicking off a Reg CF funding method? I know you've done a lot of the filings yourself in the past.
Oh yeah. So we're on the compliance. We're on the compliances.
Yeah.
Compliance.
As far as
reading, studying, being up to date with the changes in legislations. As you know, the Jobs Act changed multiple times, right? As well as the rules with the SEC and Wall Street to try to sync with this new market of investors. I waited till the final rule change in 2016, and then I started prepping my paperwork. I sat back and I watched everyone jump in 2016 when it passed. I stayed back and watched. I learned from the original people that went in 2016. I sat back and I learned from their mistakes without me having to make them. And this allowed me to tailor my vision into my paperwork on my terms. Tips. My tips, and I live by these tips, and my members, and if someone might be in the audience, but my tips, I never let anyone change my vision. Don't let anyone change your vision or your strategy, because doing something different is the innovation, right? We're attempting to do something that has never been done. And that is attempting to try to potentially do a direct listing on a stock exchange that is underwritten by a neglected and underserved market of investors, and doing it without the assistance of venture capitalists and investment bankers in the traditional sense. This is what I was talking about, the transfer of power in regard to financial wealth through third parties. Our method allows the people to benefit from the vision.
Thanks for that. Lily is asking, I know you've got your own YouTube channel and you put out loads of content, but can you talk about what types of resources and educational material that CCG offer to assist investors in navigating equity crowdfunding and enhance their their comprehension of real estate investment?
Let me see where we're at.
It's in the chat there, Lily.
It's in the chat.
Yeah.
Let me.
So,
Let me. Okay, there we go. There we go.
yeah.
There we go. All right. What type of resources? Education. The resources come from my practical experience. So 32 years of it. So what we do is I take that experience, so you don't have to go through the waters, the mud and the dirt and the grime. And I take those resources, I package them up into videos, and the videos that we do are live and raw and uncut, right? So you get the firsthand knowledge in the videos through a PowerPoint presentation, on the steps on every different various scenario on what you're trying to do. So a lot of in our Q&As in a lot of the videos, our people will come in and ask a situation or a question, and we would break down how they will address that, providing information that you may not know, that you never heard of. A lot of people haven't heard any of the stuff that I've said, because this is the material this is that financial literacy, that certain information is provided to you and certain information is not. So as we'll get into later, later on down in the question, is that sometimes when you don't get the right information, you don't make the correct choice because of the limited information that you provided, right? And people work off of that. So I try to go over and beyond that and give you additional information, so then that way you have something to compare with something that is traditional, and there's something that is non-traditional, but also it's practical because it's the experience behind it. And now you have a better investment decision that you can make to whether or not that the investment is a good opportunity for you or not a good opportunity for you.
Right. And I know that you have quite an audience when you do you said earlier when we were backstage, so to speak, that you typically do 3 and 4 hour sessions, not 30-minute. So that's something else that you offer, which is super interesting.
Yeah, that's 70. Yeah, that's 70 plus videos. You're looking at probably about 30 days worth of content you can watch 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
But they're all broken up into learning modules for them. So
yeah, that's fantastic. So looking ahead, what is the vision for CCG? Whether it's your vision for the company or crowdfunding or real estate, do you have any upcoming plans that you can give us a sneak peek of?
Well, I mean, we have a lot of things coming, but I just want to, like I tell everybody, I want to focus on raising the necessary capital as quickly as possible, so we can build upon the administrative aspects of this. We know what is at the finish line in this race, right?
Yeah.
We know. So we're going to focus on running the race and doing the work first to prepare our cooperative to potentially access the public markets on the exchange in the near future.
Right. And then looking back at your journey, you're doing a Reg CF with us. You've done one in the past. You've done a lot of the legwork yourself again, which I think is incredible. What would you say were the most rewarding aspects of setting up CCG and or going through the Reg CF process?
I think knowing that there was not one way of doing things. We get it. We get in, we grow up, and we get in this little bubble, right? And we think our parents tell us this and they tell us that, and we think that's a way. But then when we leave the house, the reality sets in, right? So knowing that there's not one way of doing things. Like every business out there, I think they're trying to carve out a piece of the market through their own methodology, right? So to be honest, no one is really wrong, because they're doing what is best based on their current situation or their current knowledge. But I think one of the other most rewarding aspects of my journey was me being able to be versatile, and flexible in my decision making, through my research and studying and the experience, and that helped me navigate the Reg CF process, and especially involving my community in the process, because I set up the cooperative exclusively for them.
Right. Okay, we only have a few more minutes here, so I think, firstly, I'd like to thank the audience. There was a lot of engagement on the chat. That was great. Of course, thank you, Tanen, for being an amazing guest and providing your insights. Do you have any last thoughts or asks? I know you're doing your Reg CF now with us, and people can find that on your website or ours, and I'll go through that in a second. But any last thoughts that you want to put out there?
Oh no, not really. Just hey, just be sure to visit the campaign page. It's investinccg.com. Also visit our membership site. The main site is Cooponomics. It's ccg.coop. Go there, just go through everything. Send a request if you want to check it out. You want to invest, you want to become a member and stuff like that. We can be contacted in any way. And come and see, and come. I know we couldn't talk about a lot of things, but hey, come to the meetings, get in, sign in. Let's establish some type of rapport. Then that way and then we'll invite you to the meetings, and you can see how the study group and see what we're doing on the other side. The raise is something different on the public. When you come to the co-op, you're coming into our community and you're learning some of the plans, what we're trying to do, what we're trying to accomplish, and the benefits. The benefits of being a member is the most powerful thing that you can ever have, right? So you want to come in and look what that is and see what we have to offer on that side, as well as on the Reg CF offering.
Right. Typically we do this with a couple issuers. I'm really glad that we're starting to do it with one, and I'm saying that because I haven't seen the audience sing praise the way they are about you. It's you can go back and look through everyone saying how terrific you are to feed your ego after this. But it's been nice.
They know I don't play that. They know not to do that.
Yeah.
We have to try to stay focused too. Yeah. But I appreciate it. Thank you everyone for coming out and supporting. Yeah.
No, this has been great. And to the audience, if you have any other questions, or if you want to get in touch with us, you can visit the Rialto website, rialtomarkets.com, or ccg.coop, COOP. We're also both on LinkedIn if you want to follow us or keep in touch with what we're doing. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great day.
All right. Peace out.
Bye.